Hello, hello. We have another new chapter of Kaiji. This one is called Surprise. I'm really worried. I think this is going to be a bad surprise. Things have been going extremely well for them lately. They've come up with a modification to their deposit plan that Kaiji seems quite confident in, even though to me it seems a little flimsy. They've completely thrown Tei off their trail. Tei has no idea what they're trying to do anymore. Um, so it kind of seems like everything should be fine, and we were even talking at the end of the last chapter, like I don't really see what obstacles remain in their way, which means that any sort of surprise, I think, is a bad surprise. Something going to go wrong. Okay, so we return to Endo and his team eating some soba. It looks very tasty. They have been barking up the wrong tree and barking quite deeply into it, it seems, by contacting all of the gold converters around Japan. Thinking that Kaiji and Chang and Mario have turned their cash into gold, cashforgold.com, or whatever that meme was. This is not, of course, what they're doing. Just forget about it. Suspend the operation. Now that I've thought about it some more, right now gold is being sold at 1,300 yen per gram. This is the value at the time the Kaiji's group was escaping. I'm curious if we can kind of date when this must be. Hold on a second. Price of gold per gram. $48. So that is considerably more than what Endo estimates that Kaiji would get. It looks like I want to see like how gold is doing. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 5 years. All. It looks like you'd have to go back to about. Holy crap! Gold has gone up a lot, like just within my lifetime. If you go back to like 2005 or so, gold is around 1,300 yen. This is in USD or CAD? I think this is in USD. Okay, so I would estimate that this story is taking place 2003, 2004-ish. And they mentioned specifically in the narration, this was the value at the time Kaiji's group was escaping. So I assume that Fukumoto is doing a very subtle dating here. Or moreover, the date is always so ambiguous that he could have like chosen it based on the plot point of how much gold this would be, and thus how much work it would be to carry the gold, which I think is how we're going here. The thing is, though, if they turned it into gold, like, holy crap. In 2004 or whatever, it was like 13-ish dollars. In 2011, at its peak, it was $62 a gram. That's absurd. I had no idea that it went up this much. Like, what is causing gold to like more than triple, quadruple in value? I'm like a little shook. Like I'm so confused. I knew that gold was going up, but I thought it was like a much slower, steadier sort of climb. This is actually just absurd. Okay, whatever. I'm confused, but it doesn't matter. This isn't about global economics and the price of commodities. That's Gin Tokin, another Fukumoto series. I think deals with that kind of thing. We're on a lower level than this. We're just wondering if these the Asian trio could actually haul this much gold. You'd increase the weight by 7.7 times. Oh my! That's way too heavy, no matter how you look at it. Hey! Look at that! Fukumoto himself, perhaps while doing research for this very thing, had the exact same mind-blowing discovery that I just had. Because he's noting, incidentally, the value of gold today in 2019 is around 5,500 yen per gram. Which, it really seems like they're including only because he's trying to drive home, like, isn't this crazy? Because that it really does seem crazy to me that gold's gone up that much. But again, that's neither here nor there. That's not our concern. We're talking about how heavy all of this gold was. Even if they only turned half of it into gold, that's still 924 kilograms. 308 kilograms per head. It's not happening. You can't haul that around. And if you tried to do it, if the ground level changed, if you had to climb some stairs, you'd be stuck. See, I've gone through this, or something pretty close to it, in Japan. Because I had big suitcases that were full of mostly paper, mostly doujinshi and other manga and stuff. So it weighed quite a bit. You know, not as heavy or dense as gold, of course, but it adds up pretty quickly. And yeah, there would be days where we would be like migrating from one hotel to the other, or the great shipping day where we took everything to the post office and had it shipped home, because of course it was such a pain to haul around. And trying to go upstairs, it was hell. We would each have like 2 suitcases each, so we'd have to like ferry them one carrying one at a time to each like rest place down the staircase. Oh. At any rate, yeah, I can empathize. If it was a lot heavier, I couldn't have done it. That's for sure. Gold itself is impossible. If they're compressing their money down, they should know the risks of that, which means, as we thought, it's probably passbooks. I just want someone to acknowledge cryptocurrency. I want Endo to receive an urgent report from a black suit about Bitcoin and the potential of Bitcoin. Like, I'm not really a crypto advocate. You know, I think it really has its uses, but that I am not like an evangelist about cryptocurrency or anything like that. But I do think this is actually probably the ideal cryptocurrency scenario. Assuming that Chang and Mario have some way of selling their crypto when they get back to their home country, which of course I would urge them to do immediately because it is a terrible investment, IMO. Much worse than gold, apparently. I still can't get over that. So yeah, this is really what crypto evangelicals are always going on about, is that it allows you to take money across national borders without any sort of levies or taxes or other issues. All you have to do is expend the energy of some entire village in Germany or something in order to make one transaction, but that's neither here nor there. It would be nice if they acknowledged crypto. That would be kind of fun if Fukumoto did like a crypto series. Okay, they're doing passbooks though. They're Endo's back right on the money. The landline phone was disconnected. Endo's had enough of answering the phones. This is kind of an interesting shot of their little Kaiji HQ here, because there's all these boxes. What are all these boxes? What are these? These look like ceiling tiles. Posters like rolled up. Maybe those are like more wanted posters. Maybe these are all like propaganda material, things that they're going to distribute to banks and stuff that say wanted scumbags, 2.4 billion yen thieves, things like that. I don't know. 90% of those phone calls were citing reports of Kaiji's group at the banks, but as always, no matter how many times they answered the phone, every single one was false. The manhunt did not progress whatsoever, and only time proceeded to be expended in vain. Withdrawing might be a valid option at this point. Ooh, what a thing to say. Because that doesn't seem like the Tei attitude. Even if that's Endo's self-preservation, even if that's Endo really just having enough and honestly saying, like, I don't think we can catch them, we really ought to give up, that's not going to go over well with Hyodo or other bigwigs at Tei. I feel like if Endo gives up, they're just going to slot another person who will be even less effectual than Endo right in his spot, and they'll just continue to fail. Guys aren't even going to the banks, being afraid of being seen by their debtors. They're holding off on even going to the front door. They're not moving forward either. We're in a painful stalemate. See, this is actually a pretty good insight on Endo's part. If this is the conclusion he's drawing from the lack of positives, the lack of any sort of actual sightings, which is a pretty reasonable conclusion to draw. They must be doing something else besides the banks. This stalemate sort of is advantage them, because if they choose to withdraw, if they choose to stop fielding these calls and investigating them and stuff, then Kaiji's group won't be aware of that. They'll never be sure that that's the case. They'll never know that they're safe. And so the Tei group is free to like re-expend their resources to try some other angle of attack, whereas Kaiji's group only has this one goal that they think they've been sealed off of. So again, it's like it's cool because we can see the logic and the consistency in Endo's thought patterns. They actually do make sense. It's just that he's so off the mark. Our poor bloodhound Endo. Alright. So seems like he's kind of at his wit's end. Calm down. One more time. Look past all the preconceived notions and assumptions I've made. Go back to basics and reassess the situation again. Yes. I like this. I like how in all of these shots, Fukumoto is always including various black suits on the phone, fielding these repetitive calls. It really kind of gets you into Endo's mindset. Just how hellish this is for him. Okay, there's travel. Railway travel. First I figured there was a chance they're getting around that way, but realistically, is there? Lugging around bags. Each of which is enough to crush a baby to death. What a disturbing way to put it, my guy. You really don't need to put it that way. Alright, it's not like it's a Kanye album. If anyone gets that joke, the Kanye dropping a brick, I'm going to be so impressed. That's like one of the deepest jokes I've ever made on this channel in terms of obscurity. You'd have to be on mute during a very specific time. When they eat, when they sleep, when they walk, everywhere they go, they carry those stupidly heavy bags around with them. They wrap a string around the wrist that's tied to the bag so there's no chance they could be stolen. Did that in 2 weeks, it would be fairly painful to even look at. Oh, it would! Oh, I hate it. I hate things binding the wrists. I've never worn a wristwatch or anything like that, just because for some reason it just really doesn't sit well with me. And people who have too tight wrist straps, I hate more than anything. If you ever want to disgust yourself, look up Donald Trump's watch indentation. It's horrifying. At any rate. Thinking normally, it doesn't seem likely. It's true there's no trace of them buying a car or renting one anywhere we looked. The one thing they have right now is plenty of money. Yeah, so this is the line of attack they need to pursue. They need to solve the issue of the RV. They need to emerge from, what was it called, like the Prius shock or whatever? the car they rented and left in the parking lot. They need to uncover this idea of the RV. It solves all of their questions. And it doesn't really get them that much closer to actually finding them, but at least you're like looking for the right things now. Somewhere they stopped on their journey, they might have found a kindred spirit. Hit it off, gotten all emotional, then like a little puppy, been adored by this person, and asked to stay the night at his place. And the next morning, oh, this is so cute. Look at them drinking. Wouldn't it be nice if they were having adventures like this? I mean, they're close. They're close to having adventures like this, but it's more just drinking convenience store booze in the RV. One of those spacious gardens. There's a ton of in the countryside. They might have an extra car there they used in the past that they have no use for anymore. This is pretty close, though. He sees this as the route to the car. And true, they did find a kindred spirit. They did find someone who was very empathetic and sympathetic to their cause and really wanted to do right by them. So this isn't too far off. It's a car like that with no set return date for as long as they wanted to. Easily pay him as much as he wanted for it. No problem at all. Yeah. This is pretty close. Endo has really started to hone in on it. This is pretty cool too. I like this idea of like kind of, you know, they're each kind of taking steps forward towards each other. And for a while, it was like clashes over the most recent sort of decisions, you know, the Kaiji's mom fight, the bank fight. But now it's like Endo has been so defeated that he has to go back to a previous stage of the Asian Trio's plan and kind of attack it once more. That's pretty cool to me. That kind of structural play. In the past, even I got persuaded by him. Yeah. At the bog, he got me to hand him over the last bit of financing he needed. He slipped his way into my heart. That's Kaiji. He's moe. He's so moe. As incompetent as he looks, come on, Endo. Come on. At this point, you gotta give him some credit. Obviously, he's a little. He's a swindler. I think that's quite a loaded word, but he's very competent. He's very, very competent. He's like an unbelievably smart person. Carrying around that much money and walking all over the place with it. That's the idea that seems more irrational now. Doesn't conform with the reality we're looking at. They have a car, then travel and storing the money are both taken care of. The only problem left, ooh, sleeping? Is this when he'll finally clue into the RV? Logic. Already been 3 weeks since they broke away and escaped with the money in tow. Where have they been staying until now? For 2 or 3 days they could sleep in the car. No problem for a short time frame. 3 weeks would be rough. They've been staying somewhere else. Business hotels, saunas, simping lodging houses, cheap bottom run hotels. That's right. These are all debtor hotspots. Now, I feel like Endo, look at this. This is actually kind of cool. And I think this is, I don't think this is going to be plot relevant, but I always want to call out, I don't know, what I see as kind of cool incidental characterization. So Endo has already talked about how if there's one thing these guys have, it's money, okay? But when he thinks about where they would stay, the only things that come to mind are cheap business hotels, cheap saunas, cheap lodge houses, really cheap hotels. And when he pictures them, this is, I think, very subtle but pretty cool. When he pictures the Asian trio here in his imagination, halfway down this panel, they're like really rough and tumble. Like Chang's shirt is all dirty. They look sad. He's still picturing them as impoverished. He's still picturing them as desperate debtors running away from Tei, and not as billionaires, which is what they are. And he's not even considering, like his logic is pretty sound. If they're staying at one of these kind of lower rung places, one of our debtors would have spotted them. But what if they're not? What if they're staying at a 5-star hotel? Like, why couldn't they? They could totally afford it. I don't know. I don't know if Fukumoto at all was implying this line of thinking, but it seems like Endo has a big blind spot here. And I think that sort of implicit characterization is really cool. Okay. They found some way to not even need a place like that. So in that case, a tent? Or are they sleeping in parks? No. He's going even lower. You can't imagine them staying at a business hotel, so therefore they must be homeless. No. Why aren't they at the Ritz? Okay, and then there's a honk. So far there hasn't really been a surprise in this chapter. So I'm still wondering. There's a lot of honks. Oh, is it an RV? Not, of course, our hero's RV, but just any RV that Endo is going to see, and suddenly the light bulb's going to go on. How dumb kid is that? 3 or 4 days now, I've been in an especially bad mood. Only so much maturity I'm willing to put up there now. Oh, no, never mind. Not an RV, okay. It's this guy. Who is this guy? Someone Endo is very surprised to see. I'm assuming it's some big wig Tei person because of the treatment that they're being given. but is it the guy that's like the rival to Tonegawa? Remember Tonegawa has that like rival character? He showed up a few times in the anime and stuff. Is it that guy? Yeah, I think it's that guy. I think it's that guy. So he's like another bigwig. Yeah, he's like another top 5 executive. Yeah. Wait, whoa, hold on. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the guy that we see in Tonegawa. Except that here, he's Tei number 2. He's the general manager. So what happened to Tonegawa? Is this like some timeline sort of thing where if I had access to later chapters of Tonegawa, I would see that eventually he is replaced by Kurosaki-san? Maybe, maybe. Geez, I don't know. This is very interesting. The interweaving of all of these spin-off series. At any rate, this is quite exciting. This guy is definitely a beast. Of course, in Tonegawa, it's like all these super powerful characters are reduced to bumbling clowns on many occasions because they're always tripping over each other to suck up to Hyodo, and just humiliating themselves in a variety of ways in a lot of the little stories and stuff. So mostly we've seen Kurosaki in this context. Him and Tonegawa like fighting over who will receive Hyodo's love. But really, when you think about it, he's actually a very scary person and probably extremely intelligent. And who knows what resources and strategies he's going to provide to the Kaiji research group. I don't know. I really don't know. This is an unexpected little twist, a little surprise to be sure. It doesn't actually change the scenario at all, though. All of my confidence for our heroes still remains, that I talked about at the end of the last video. But it's like, this must mean something. Something's gonna happen. Okay, let's find out. See you then.